something like that. So we could have. So the building, the building we came from is right there. Oh no.
Anybody else? All right, quick. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Loretto Motherhouse. We're so glad to host this session and so happy to have so many concerned, engaged citizens to join in with us today. Today, we want to meet candidates who are running for Marion County Sheriff. And in addition to the people in this room, I think there are probably about 20 other folks on the campus that are watching through closed circuit TV. And our county clerk, Chad Mattingly, is live streaming the session. So we want to make sure that everybody can hear. And there's more seats all the way around if you want to move. We will keep the format very simple. And what we do is I will give you a few rules that we need to agree upon in order to have a very informative session. And then we will listen to the candidates, and after that, have questions and answers. So first, we want to ask the audience to listen to each speaker respectfully, no interruptions, and to hold questions until after all three speakers have spoken. So do you think we can all do that?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And for the candidates, we thank you for being here and appreciate your willingness to serve and also to be here today to explain why you are interested in this position. And we ask you to speak directly into the microphone and to speak very slowly. Many of us here have some hearing loss, so speaking directly and slowly into the microphone will be a big help. And you will be asked to give your comments, keep your remarks to 10 minutes. And we have Sister Anna over here who's got the 2-minute warning sign. We don't know what happens after that, but it probably would not be pleasant, so, all right. After all three have spoken, then I'll come back up here and ask for questions. So I'm going to introduce the first speaker here today, and then they will take over after that. So this is Jeff, right?
Bear with me, first time speaking in public like this. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to thank everyone for being here, for taking time to come out and be involved in our community. Events like this matter because they allow you to hear directly from the people who want to serve you. I also want to thank the Loretto Motherhouse Peace Committee for hosting this event and giving us the opportunity to speak with you. Not loud enough. Oh. Okay. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Jeff Coyle. I am running for Marion County Sheriff. Serving this community is not something I decided to do because there's an election. It is something I've been doing every day for the past 15 years. As a road deputy, I've spent my career responding to calls for help, patrolling our roads and our communities, and working accident investigating crimes and doing everything I can to protect the people of this county. Being a deputy isn't just a job to me, it's a way of life. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to meet hundreds of people in this community. I've seen Marion County on its best days and some very difficult days. Those experiences have helped shape the kind of leader I want to be. I'm running for sheriff because I believe our sheriff's office should be focused on three things: service, accountability, and community trust. First, service. The sheriff's office exists to serve the people of Marion County. Every citizen deserves to feel safe in their own home, in their neighborhoods, and their communities. Law enforcement should be visible, professional, and responsive. When someone calls for help, they deserve to know that a well-trained deputy will be there to do their job. Second is accountability. Sheriff's office belongs to the people of this county. That means leadership must be transparent, responsible with the taxpayers' dollars, and supportive of our deputies who work hard every day to keep our community safe. Good leadership means setting the right example and making decisions that are in the best interest of this county. Third is community trust. Law enforcement works best when the community and the deputies work together. Trust is built through communication, respect, and being present in the community, not just during election time, but every day. I believe strongly in building relationships with our schools, our youth programs, churches, and local organizations. When young people see deputies as mentors and role models, it helps to create a stronger and safer future for our county. As sheriff, I want to continue strengthening those connections while making sure our deputies have the proper training, equipment, and leadership they need to do their jobs effectively. I also believe that sheriffs should never forget where they come from. I am proud to be a working deputy. I know the challenges deputies face. I experience them every day. That perspective matters when making decisions that affect the individuals wearing the uniform. But most importantly, this campaign is not about titles or positions. It's about the future of Marion County. It's about making sure our families feel safe. It's about supporting our deputies who put their lives on the line. It's about assuring that the sheriff's office continues to serve this community with integrity and professionalism. I love this county. My family's from this county. I call this place home. If I have the honor of being elected as your next sheriff, I promise to work hard every single day to lead Marion County through honest and fairness and dedication. And thank you again. Thank you for caring about our county, and I sincerely appreciate your support and your vote. Thank you, and God bless.
I'd like to thank the Motherhouse for inviting me to this forum. And I want to thank everyone for being here. I would like to take a moment of silence and think about all the soldiers that we are losing in Iran and the citizens that are being affected by the war. Thank you. I'm Ray Gardner. For the people who don't know me, I am your Marion County Sheriff. I am married to Julia Mattingly Gardner. We have been married for 44 years plus. We have 4 children, and we have been blessed with 17 grandchildren. To answer the question with half of the response, this is it. We were born, raised, and we rooted in the Marion County area. I have dedicated 18 years of full-time service to the people of Marion County. as a deputy sheriff, 15 years as the chief deputy sheriff, and now your sheriff. When I took office, and I took the oath of office at the courthouse, I made a high priority of a school resource officer. I felt for years that was needed. When I took the office over, I made that happen. I put a school resource officer that is centralized at Marion Middle School. The SRO also serves Calvary and West Marion Elementary students. Part of my mission is to win this election. With the next fiscal budget, my intent is to put an additional SRO in to have 3 schools covered by 2 school resource officers. Some other improvements that I have made in the office since I've taken over. Again, I put the school resource officer into play to better protect our teachers and our students alike. I put a detective position in play so that they can focus and investigate the caseloads, solve the crimes, so that they're not just put into a file and left. I put in a night shift supervisor. I've done that for better communication and to better control the night shifts and the weekend shifts. I've added an improvement into our units with radar equipment, which is the first. We've never had radar equipment. I'm trying to bring the office up into the modern age. We are currently working with Walmart to try to obtain 9 tablets so that our computers in our truck are efficient. I've also implemented the first 24-hour community service and protection. We have never had 24-hour coverage before. That is so that the dispatch in the off hours don't have to call and get a deputy out of bed. We have a deputy on call, out on active duty, 24/7. I'm also improving the evidence room. We have ordered a computerized program that will help us better organize and accurately keep count of the evidence that's in our evidence room. I've also taken a look at our policy procedure manuals. I have made some changes and some improvements. One being mandatory body armor wear. And that policy change come into play because of the road deputies that have been shot. I want them to be mandatory to wear the body armor. By doing so, the Attorney General's office paid for and provided us the body armor at no cost to the county, which is a no-brainer to do. I also changed that any prisoner being transported must be in a vehicle that has window guards on. No more breaking windows. It's to better protect the officers and the prisoner. On March 24th, I am sending 2 officers to autism awareness training so that we can better detect and understand and better handle those types of situations. I am also part of the quick response team. It's called QRT. And what this program is, it brings together the hospital, judge executive's office, the sheriff's office, city police, the community care and other agencies to provide resources and to better identify the homeless, people that have drug and alcohol addictions, and that are jobless. And what this does, we on the situation table every Wednesday, names will be put forth, discussions will be had to see if there's funds available to get the needed help for these individuals that have been identified. And that is the goal of the situation table. We put into place a Shop with a Cop program at Christmas. And that is to help the families that are in need, and also it brings and builds better community relations. In closing, I ask the voters to compare the candidates that we have in front of us. Judge all of us by our integrity, the experience that's brought to the table, and the dedication that has been put forth over the years. I believe that when this is done and when you consider it in this way, one name will stand out, and that will be Ray Gardner. I ask you for your vote for sheriff. Thank you very much.
My name is Chad Rakes. First of all, I'd like to thank the Loretto Motherhouse for having us here. I'd like to thank all of y'all for coming out. I'd also like to thank Ray and Jeff for their service to the community several years now. I haven't served as a deputy, but I feel like democracy, we're allowed to give people a chance. And I believe I'm concerned, just like they are, about the way our community is going. I'm deeply concerned about the sexual offenses toward children. Every time I turn the newspaper open, there's a offense against a child. And if I'm elected sheriff, I intend to work with school officials, guidance counselors, nonprofit organizations, and to raise awareness in the schools with our children about what is appropriate, what's not appropriate at home. Also, as far as the deputies, I intend to make a mandatory body cameras for all deputies, including the sheriff, that are to be functional at all times. I mean, if there's any interaction with the public, they're not just for our safety, but for yours. I think that the current administration is doing an excellent job of keeping our community safe. I want to commend them for their efforts. And y'all gotta excuse me, I'm not used to public speaking, so this politics is new to me, so. But body cameras are a must. A background about me, I was born and raised in Bradfordsville. And the reason I want to be sheriff is when I was 8 years old, my dad and Carol Kirkland, the former sheriff, rest his soul, was cutting tobacco next to the farmhouse. And of course, at 8 years old, I wanted to play in the cruiser. So I kind of locked myself in the back seat. And they sat around and laughed for a few minutes. And he come down and told Carol that day, someday I'm going to run for Marion County Sheriff. And I hope that you'll give me the opportunity to represent our county, keep our citizens safe, and keep us safe. Thank you.
We thank all of you for sharing your thoughts with us and being willing to serve in this very difficult position. And earlier, I forgot to say thank you for a group of us that sit out every Wednesday on Main Street in Proctor Knott with waving our signs and expressing our First Amendment rights to talk about what unjust policies are affecting people. And I think I've counted almost every Wednesday that a sheriff car goes by 4 times. At first, I was a little nervous about that, coming from California, where you don't have quite the same relationship with local law enforcement. So we're very happy to have the sheriffs come by and wave to us and see that we're all safe and sound. So thank you for your remarks. And now let's see if we can take some questions. If you raise your hand, I'll call on you. And the candidates, you can either sit there and you pass the microphone back and forth, or you can come stand here. And we got 2 roving microphones. Okay. Any questions? I see several. All right. Angela.
So I'll start, I guess, since nobody else wanted to go first. So I'm sure most of us in the room, am I too close? I'm sure most of us in the room have seen the recent settlement that both Marion County and the city of Lebanon just reached for a little bit over $2 million for an incident involving the sheriff's department. I'm not going to ask you all to specifically comment on the case. I know none of you all were sheriff at that time. What I am asking is, moving forward, how do we restore trust with our citizens whenever it comes to incidents like this? And also, is there anything that you all would do as sheriff to ensure that we don't have any incidents like that happen again in the county?
Thank you, Angela. Who would you like to? All right. Take that
Starting out.
microphone out.
Starting out, no involvement with that, but anytime there's training, we need more training for our officers moving forward to help with de-escalation and everything. That's a big thing, and just more officer involvement in our communities, getting out with organizations, our parks, our groups, just trying to gain that respect back, just being out and interacting.
I, too, was not sheriff at the time. I am familiar with what you're referring to, very familiar. That happened 3.5 years ago. As I was saying in my speech, when I reviewed the policy manual, the one thing I put in place was the guards over the windows. That was the start of the problem that evening. That in particular vehicle was not equipped with a guarded window. It was a K9 unit. So the prisoner was able to break the window out. That being said, that was a change that I made immediately. As far as the settlement goes, we can't control that. What we can control is our equipment and the training that these officers get. These were well-trained officers. This individual was a violent individual, and he was determined he was not going to jail. You can't let them just go. They done their best to get him into custody, and it was a tragedy. It was a great tragedy what happened on all levels. For the Martin family, it was terrible for their end of it. The officers that's at the city and the deputies that were involved here, it was a tragedy for each of their families. They live with it every day. It is nothing they're ever going to forget. It is nothing they ever wanted to have had to start with. I know each of them personally, and I feel their pain. As far as the settlement, that's the insurance's call. The grand jury in Marion County with a special prosecutor found a no true bill. They reviewed every stick of evidence, 700-page report from KSP, and found no true bill. So as the sheriff, I have to act on the law. I have to act that the people in this county made the right decision in that grand jury, and I live by that. I do not fault these officers. They've done the best they could that evening. And as far as the monetary value, all life has value. It was a tragedy that one was lost. Money will never bring him back. So it is what it is at this point. It's a settlement that the insurance agreed on. We have to live by it.
I'm not a current deputy with the sheriff's department, but I feel like body cameras that are active at 100% at all times when you're interacting with the public will, like I say, not only protect the officer, but it protect the arrestee also. So I'll stand behind body cameras that are mandatory. They have to be functional at all times.
First off, I want to thank all of you and the deputies I see in the room for being willing to make the physical and mental sacrifice to pursue and hold this position. Now, what I want, and this is for my own education, I'd like for each one of you to give a complete functional understanding of the office, especially if there's something that was missed in earlier remarks.
Sheriff's office is to collect taxes, service the people of Marion County, to take calls, we unlock vehicles, we serve civil papers, civil services, the courthouse, the courtrooms and stuff, we have protection for those, transport prisoners, we service the community, we're here for the community, that's it.
The sheriff's office is a constitutional office. Our mandatory duties is to collect taxes and serve and protect the courts. That is our primary objectives. But that being said, we do prisoner transport back and forth from the courthouse to the jails and back from the other jails to our jails. We also, in our case, we collect at a $15 million revenue from taxes that office is in charge of. We serve warrants, civils, criminal summonses, and we answer every call that's brought forth by the Lebanon Dispatch, 911 hang-ups. We work wrecks and any kind of call that is asked of us, even animal calls.
Well, I'm going to defer mostly to what Jeff raised there because as I said, I'm currently not a deputy of the Marion County Sheriff's Department. But in my opinion, being a deputy is about collecting taxes, and it's about whatever is best for the public, the taxpaying citizens. If you're broke down on the side of the road, the deputy stops and helps do whatever it takes to get that person back up and running. And they, like I say, they do a great job. So I'll just defer back to what their answers were.
Any other questions? Okay, I think way in the back here. Oh.
Those of you that don't know me, I'm the wife of William Martin that was killed on the side of the road. And I want to know what you do to plan on making sure whatever happened to my husband does not happen to anybody else again.
As we said before, officer training and just work with the public to try to keep this from happening again. It's unfortunate, but it happened, and we're going to work hard to keep it from happening again, and with officer training and community help.
Again, I want to offer you my condolences for the loss of your husband. There's nothing going to bring you back, and for that, you have my condolences. I don't think that's ever been offered because of the litigation that was pending. Nobody could talk. I'm telling you now. And again, it's a tragedy on all levels. The officers and all. Their families deal with this every day as well as you. And that, I hate it for them as well. But going forward, that tragedy started with the guard not being on the window. That has been corrected. And going forward, we're going to continue training, CIP training, de-escalation, and try to prevent this from ever happening again to anyone. And I will work toward that goal.
I, just like Ray, want to apologize for your loss, and you have my sympathies. And as I said, And if I'm elected sheriff, everybody will be held accountable for their own actions. There will be video cameras that are functional every time that a deputy interacts with the public. And if mistakes are made, I promise you, they will be dealt with and that person will be dismissed.
We also want to thank you for coming and offer our condolences also. Anyone else? Question?
I just want to thank y'all for showing up today, and I've heard the changes that Mr. Gardner's already made to the office. I'd like to ask your other two, and Ray also, what those changes you'd like to keep and what further improvement you'd like to make. I know you've already spoke about the school resource officers. Is there anything else that you'd like to, changes you'd like to institute, could make the department better?
Moving forward, we have a great office. We do. All the officers are outstanding. They're number one. They do a hard job and they do it great. But moving forward, like I said, we need more training and more outreach with our communities and our schools and everything, just to get more service and just get the public a better view of what sheriff's office is and what we can do to make it better.
The changes or improvements that I have made, I for sure hope stays in place. I didn't make the change for any reason other than for the best for the community in the county. When I work sheriff going forward, again, I want to put another school resource officer in. That will have to be determined through negotiations for myself, Judge Daugherty, Chris Brady with the schools. I foresee no issues with putting another SRO in. We had two lined out, one fell through, but the school has given me nothing but great reviews from what I have put in place. Even the teachers, they're just elated that they have someone they can go to instead of having to wait for service. Chris Jewell is our SRO. He's an outstanding young man. He's a Marine. He's a family man. He was a perfect fit. The children love him. He intermingles with them well. And going forward on the second one, I want someone just like him. It's good for the community. It's good for relations. It's good for the children. They understand what law enforcement will do actually in the daytime. Just basically, I'm still trying to get updated in our equipment. We finally got as I said, we finally got the radar. I got 2 more to upfit. Once we get the tablets that we're working with Walmart to try to get finalized on the monies, and then I will take further steps on improvements that I can foresee that need to be done. I'm taking it step at a time because it all comes down to money. The budget is set for this year. I'm pretty strapped, but I'm squeezing monies to make it happen, and I will continue to do that. And everything that I do will be for the good of the county.
As far as me, if I'm elected sheriff, any resources they've added to safeguard our children will stay in place. If nothing more to add to them, I think our children have been suffering as of recent, if you've read the newspaper, and I think our children are our future and we've got to safeguard them. And a lot of these kids are being abused by their own parents. And a lot of them are being abused by family members. And I think that we need to really look into that issue and try to give the kids a more understanding of what is appropriate and what's not appropriate, even in the home. I know that's sad, I know that's bad to say, but if you've read the newspaper, it's the truth, and it's happening in our own homes. And if I'm elected sheriff, I'll do everything, regardless of budget, if I have to take it out of my own pay. Whatever it takes to bring awareness to what's happening to our children is going to have to be put in place.
Question? Mary Ann?
You've spoken about the training that's needed and that officers, sheriff's deputies receive. I'm wondering about de-escalation training. We're in a contentious point in our society, and this is where I don't know if sheriff's deputies meet the same conditions as police do, and if that kind of de-escalation training might be needed. I'd be grateful if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, there is de-escalation training, for us through the OCJT and CIT training, crisis intervention training. We're working with that. Most officers has that, but the ones that don't, we get them in that. And it's just the training that we have to do and update and keep going and just keep training. Just train, all we can get.
We do have the same training as the police. We have the academy we go through. We do 40 hours plus in service annually. CIT training is a course that is offered that can be taken during in-service. And as my recollection serves me correctly, I think a couple of the officers involved in this actually did have the CIT training. De-escalation is a great tool, but I will say it's not always effective. But it is the first step in going the right direction. Other than that, it's we're just out every day doing the same job that the police and KSP do.
I'm with Bray and Jeff. I think de-escalation training is a must, and I'll just stick with that.
I'm Mike Dow from Loretto, and I just wanted to say, you said the budget changed. Who's got control of your budget?
The sheriff puts forth the budget to fiscal court. The magistrates in fiscal court make the determination if they're going to approve your budget. In November, let me back up. In October, when I took over as sheriff, the first thing I found out was I was in the red on the budget for the year. I was not going to be able to make payroll to December. So my office manager and myself, we ran numbers for 3 and 4 weeks to see what we were going to need to pay out the remainder of the year. We finally come up with the accurate number. We presented an amended budget to fiscal court. They approved that budget. That budget was approved, I think it was the last week of November. We immediately went into trying to form a budget for 26 year. That had to be read twice, so we had to get the budget in. But we went into negotiations with Judge Daugherty, and of course, the fiscal court. We presented, we presented 3 budgets. The first 2 were knocked down, and finally I was able to get a budget that was approved, I believe it was the 3rd week of December, because we had to have it approved, and so we could have money to operate January 1. So I set forth the budget, and I get the yeas or nays from the fiscal court where they're going to buy it or allot it. That's how it works. And that is set from January 1 to January 1. So this new fiscal budget that I presented, I can't change it until January 1 unless it gets down, and then I would have to show, if I needed more money, I would have to show what the money expenditures were, why we need the money, and present an amended budget to get approval to correct the deficit.
From Dave,
Dave Daugherty,
do we get anything from the state?
I'm sorry, Dr.
We get any budget from the state?
Oh, the sheriff's office has a 1.2 million income. So when you submit a budget, we figure all our incomes or potential incomes for that year. And then whatever is not met with my budget, then fiscal court will have to supplement. This year, fiscal court is supplementing $920,000 to our budget. We have a 1.2 million income.
Okay, well, the bottom line is, my question really is the bottom line. Are we paying these deputies enough to support their families and take care of Marion County?
It is my opinion, we have finally, and under Sheriff Clements, I will say, early in our careers, we weren't making enough money. And a lot of the deputies would fall out and find better paying jobs because couldn't support a family on that money. But under Sheriff Clements, the last 4 years, we worked on getting their monies up. And I will say at this point in time, I think they're making a really good salary, hourly salary. And so we really need more monies for other things, not salaries. We've got them in place, and I think they're fine. It's just we need more monies to get equipment. And and this is one point that I think I'll be fair to make at this time. Whoever the next sheriff is, fiscal court is going to have to understand that 6 of our vehicles are already over 150,000 miles. I lost 3 engines in these Dodge trucks since November. That was a $15,000 hit out of my budget for this year already. We lost 3 rear ends. That was probably another 4,500 hit. So piecing these cars together constantly, yes, you can do it, but it's costly. So the next sheriff is going to have to go to fiscal court and just make concessions and ask. We're going to need at least 5, 6 new vehicles to get rid of this old units that we got. We can sell them. That money can go toward newer vehicles. We are getting to a point where there is going to be a bigger expenditure for our equipment.
What about for the men?
I'm sorry.
For your men?
Yes. My vehicle I'm driving is 260,000. That's what I can get by on mine. They're the ones that need the equipment because they're the ones that are running daily.
Oh, I like I say, I'm not a deputy, but I would like to see more transparency towards the budget for the public taxpayers. I'd like for them to be included. I don't know how to go about that, but if I'm elected sheriff, I'm going to see that it's a little more transparent for everyone in the community.
I'd like to make a comment. I helped take care of an elderly woman who has lived in Marion County for probably 30 years, but she's not from here and she doesn't have family. During the recent cold weather and ice, I was iced in at my house and couldn't get out. Her phone was out of service, and I was able to call the sheriff's office and ask for a senior citizen wellness check. And the sheriff or deputy got up a very steep driveway, let her call me on his cell phone so that I knew she wasn't lying half dead on the floor somewhere. And I really appreciate that kind of service for people who have elderly that they care about. And so I just want to say thank you.
For transparency purposes, I do not have a dog in this fight. But my question is not a gotcha question. It is more about policy than anything else, and that is, do you need any more additional deputies on the road? Could you use another deputy or 2? And I know you got one, you got a member of the fiscal court here, so he's listening.
Yes, sir. We do need more deputies because there's some parts of the night that the officer is out by itself, still covering the county, and we should always have 2 officers 24/7 on duty.
How many do you need? 1 or 2 or 3?
2 to 3.
2.
In my budget, I was very fortunate to get an additional deputy this year. With the school resource officer the school board is paying 70% of his salary. So I'll be able to utilize him in the summer months, which is a very big plus because that's when most of the deputies want to take vacation, so he'll be a nice fill-in. We had a schedule that, for the most part, we tried to keep 2 to 3 out on duty all the time. We had 4 hours that was not covered. And again, the dispatcher would have to call out a deputy out of bed. That's time-consuming, delayed response. So when I got the extra for this year, we went on and scheduled a schedule where it covers 24/7. And it does leave, I've got 2 slots, I think, of 4 hours that I do have just one officer on or deputy out on duty. So that being said, if the fiscal court would give us 2 more deputies, that would put us 24/7 with 2 and sometimes 3 on duty at all times.
Hey, Ray. How many deputies does Nelson County have?
Do I have a question? There's a microphone.
I'm sorry. Thank you. How many deputies does Nelson County have in Danville? Or Danville, Boyle County, I'm sorry.
I don't.
You don't know?
I believe Boyle County has 22.
22.
I think Taylor Sheriff Bottoms just hired 2 more, so it's between 22 and 23.
I just remember seeing the calendars around and they'd have a lot of deputies. It always seemed like we was short.
I think, best of my knowledge, Nelson County has 25, and we only have 10 road deputies.
Have any other questions? Okay, I have one. We learned a couple of weeks ago from the jailers that they have the restriction with working and cooperating with ICE, that they must keep a prisoner that is undocumented for 48 hours after he has served his time before ICE can come and pick him up. And I'm wondering what kind of restrictions or training, anything about the whole culture of local law enforcement dealing with ICE.
When the individual's here illegally and he breaks the law, we're going to do our job and arrest that subject for the crimes he committed, and he'll have to serve his time here, and it would be up to the jail to contact ICE.
We received a directive down from the legislature about 1.5 years ago. And we were informed through the legislature that we could not make an arrest on a ICE detainer. So the only things that we encounter with immigration is if they break the state or local law, we will make the arrest and they'll be incarcerated. It will be the jail's responsibility from that point on to interact with ICE notification. But I want to make something known to you all, as it was known to me through an email. Senate Bill 86 has been proposed up in Frankfurt. And under this bill, it's going to force local and state agencies to enter into an agreement, if passed, with ICE. They're going to be creating a jail management, a task force, and a warrant officer. So that is what I see is in the near future. So once that has been determined and put into law, we'll have to, if it's passed, go into an agreement with them to identify these illegal immigrants and help to, I guess, take them to jail and get them the detainers they need. But that is the future. If that's done, we have nothing but obligation to abide by the law, because I'm not going to jail for nobody.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions? Well, we certainly appreciate everyone's time, and we've got 10 extra minutes. So you're welcome to stay, and if the candidates want to answer your questions, you're welcome to do that. Right now, I think we're going to end officially with the recording and the streaming and that. So thank you.
Come on now, are you going to-